As people marked the new year, there were further Russian missile attacks, including in the capital, Kyiv. Our correspondent, Ugo Bachega, sent this update from there.
The air raid alert sounded after midnight here in Kyiv, and people were told to seek shelter as Russia launched another airstrike on this capital. The armed forces this morning are saying that the air defense systems shot down 32 of those drones, Iranian-made drones that Russia has been using to attack this country. There were no casualties, but this latest attack happened hours after Russia launched missiles targeting cities across the country. One person was killed here in the capital. Now, the Ukrainian officials had accused Russia of deliberately targeting civilians by launching attacks on New Year's Eve, a day when people were gathered to celebrate. Now, here in the country, people are tired, angry with these attacks. They say that civilians have become Russia's target in this war. Also last night, President Zelensky delivered an emotional, defiant speech, New Year's address, and he said he was proud of how Ukrainians have resisted to Russia's aggressions, and he said there was no option for this country other than fight until victory.
And that was Ugo Bachega there. Well, we heard Ugo talking about the Ukraine president's New Year address, so let's just listen into what he had to say.
We fight and will continue to fight for the sake of the main word, victory. It will be for sure. We have been approaching it for 311 days. We gave it a lot of strength. But at the moment, when it seems that you can't go any further, remember that we have already passed with you.
Згадайте, що ми вже з вами пройшли.
Well, in Russia, President Putin also made his New Year address and spoke about the war. He told soldiers that historical righteousness was on their side.
For
years, the Western elites have hypocritically assured us of all their peaceful intentions, including the resolution of the difficult conflict in Donbass. In reality, they were fully encouraging neo-Nazis who continued to carry out military and blatantly terrorist actions against peaceful citizens of the Donbass People's Republics. The West lied about peace, but was preparing for aggression. And today they're not ashamed to admit it openly. And they cynically use Ukraine and its people to weaken and divide Russia. We have never allowed anyone to do that. And we will not allow anyone to do that.
That was President Putin. Well, here in the UK, the war crimes prosecutor who led the case against Slobodan Milosevic has called for Mr Putin to be tried for crimes against humanity this year. Sir Geoffrey Nice, who worked with the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia, told the BBC that the case against Mr Putin couldn't be clearer and that civilian targets should never be bombed or otherwise attacked.
It couldn't be clearer. The strangest thing is that politicians and lawyers don't seem to be speaking out saying it for what it is. It is crimes against humanity because civilian targets should never be bombed or otherwise attacked. And there can be no doubt about the chain of command leading directly to Putin. These are his soldiers. And as a minimum, he knows from the television what we all do about what's happening. Not only is it reasonably to be expected that they're acting in accordance with his instructions and commands, but he has said nothing since February to indicate that they're not doing that. He's not brought them back to be tried for what are obvious crimes. That's because he is in charge, they're doing what he wants, and he's a guilty man.
Well, earlier, the Ukrainian political analyst Mykola Davidoyak shared his thoughts on those comments by Sir Geoffrey Nice's.
I think Putin tries to kill Ukrainians by he kills the image of his country and he kills his regime. And I think that he strike missiles in a New Year's night in Ukraine. He just show who is Russia really are. And I think he show his weaknesses because he strike from 30 to 60 missiles and Iranian drones kamikaze, and he tried to crucify civilian buildings. And I think that he showed that he don't know what to do and how to break Ukraine. And at the same time, I saw in the Kiev streets yesterday night the people who are walking and smiling, who are in a good mood, who prepared for the toughest winter in their life, who prepared for everything what may happen. Even yesterday, sitting on the table with champagne, they heard sirenes and go downstairs in their parkings, in their shelters. So I think the mood is really strong, and people are ready to win. So it doesn't matter what Russia plans. Ukraine wanted to stand, and they're like to live and alive. And I think the hope is the main feeling, and we are trying to stand and to defend our country, and also to liberate our territories and our people.
Just to touch on those attacks that took place on New Year's Eve, I understand there were exploding drones that were targeting Kyiv. Can you just describe exactly what happens when they come towards Kyiv?
Actually, they striked 2 days before, and also that was yesterday and the day before yesterday. They tried to target some power station, and also like their missiles is not good in targeting, so like they also like targeting civilian houses, kindergartens, and so on, and even 1 block from our house, they also like they targeted and struck a civilian home, and it was like few floors building. And I think the reason and the main target wasn't some power station. It was like to broke our mood, to make us fear, and to make us feel some afraid. And I think that was like typical Russian terrorism, that they want to send a message on media, then want to press us. And I think that was the reason why he struck in New Year's Eve, because like he had like 311 days to kill everything, but he can't, and he feels that we are stronger than he thought before, and now he was just want to terrorize us. But I think like people prepared for that, they don't scare, they just like preparing for New Year, preparing and to making and preparing to make this year the year of winning. So like I think he didn't broke our holiday, and that was like fantastic New Year's night. But I think it's like was completely different what we had before.